My topic is things to do, things you have control over after you are diagnosed with cancer. Or how to control your cancer? No, okay, you have cancer, now what? Hello, it's good to be doing another episode. We're here in Wannsee. It was much sunnier, and then we sat down to film, and suddenly it's cold and oh my god, but we have Bro to protect us. She has to learn to let me love her. Anyway, hello is what, long story short, hello. I've actually met a few young people, young adults I should say, with cancer. And all of them have had very different stories and very different cancers and very different journeys that they're on. And when people ask me like, okay, so cancer diagnosis, what happens now? I feel like there is no way to really answer that in a linear sense. Like there is no to-do list really that I can say. Like, I was diagnosed when I was 22. My cancer was like everywhere. I had to go make a decision right in that moment, like chemo or no chemo, like life or death kind of thing. So I would never ever give anyone medical advice. Also, I would never tell a cancer patient you need to try this diet or this is the way to do it. There is literally no way to do it. There are some self-care tips that I find have been very helpful for me because your body is going to be taken out of your control in a lot of ways. It's going to change, and a lot of people actually they lose their hair, a lot of them lose weight. A lot of people also gain weight actually due to the cortisol. That's something people don't talk about, but anyway, there's a lot of changes that happen, and my tip to any young adult with cancer would basically be let go of the need to look a certain way, focus on things that you can control, which are your emotional reactions to things. Instead of thinking, damn, I don't recognize myself in the mirror, who is this person, realize that there are still a bunch of things in your mind that are just the same. You are just as strong as you were before cancer. You are just as beautiful. You are just as exciting and interesting. All those things are untouched by cancer. The other thing is, if you do end up doing chemo, I felt that it was way easier getting through chemo once I saw it as my help, and not as this terrifying thing that everyone criticizes and has so many negative aspects. I'm very aware of the problems that chemotherapy have had and the side effects that it causes. I'm very aware of it. But do I choose to focus on that while I'm having the infusion? No, because I need to put my mind and my body in a position where I feel like I'm receiving help. So just be rock solid with your decisions and with what you're going to accept. To young adults with cancer, like I've mentioned before, we're a small group. Certain issues that pop up that don't pop up maybe in childhood cancer or Bro, now you made me sneeze. I found it extremely helpful to find a support group. I found one last year during kind of a moment of crisis where I was I need people who know my reality. It is so helpful to just be in a room with people who are oh yeah, fuck man, I had, you probably have to bleep that one out. Oh yeah, I had the worst chemo the other day and couldn't handle it at all and just have been sleeping for the last 3 days and you're yes, that happens to me too, oh my god. But your feelings are totally valid. And that's another thing that I started doing in the beginning after I got sick that I find you shouldn't do. So this is also another tip out there. And it's when you start putting your story into perspective or a greater context constantly. So yes, I have cancer, I'm 22 years old, but at least I don't have stage 4, da-da-da-da-da. Because the truth is, I see people, at Dana-Farber getting their chemo all the time, and I don't know their story. And yes, maybe they're in a wheelchair or something, but they could be so happy And you should never ever think that just because someone is physically impaired or is like going through treatment that they are unhappy. Most people who are sick have just as many feelings as everybody else. We get upset about petty shit, and we're also super happy, and we can be super in love, and we can be super focused on anything other than our health. Like, we are not a category, the sick people, you know? So you are valid, and don't think that your pain needs to constantly compare to everyone else's, because I feel like that constant like comparing your story to my story thing that we seem to do, or like this like trying like not understanding other people's pain and being like, oh, my pain is so much bigger than yours, that is so unhelpful. Because the truth is like, whether or not it's cancer or like homelessness or I don't know, like financial and emotional struggle, mental health, all those things can affect you so much, and no one is immune to them. So everybody has their baggage. You can be happy or unhappy in any one of those settings. It's totally okay that I'm not okay, and it's totally fine that I'm struggling, because everybody else is as well. Another thing, maybe on a less heavier note, what was super helpful for me after getting sick was obviously like the relationship to my body, because like I said, it changes a lot. But just like embracing whatever stage you're in. Like, if you want to go with wigs, go with wigs, do your thing with wigs. Like, if you don't want to wear wigs, rock the you know, baby head as long as you can, totally fine. And like, it's crazy when I look back at pictures of me, of course it was rough seeing my hair go. I just wasn't like, I was allowing the stages to happen the way I needed them to happen. Yeah, those are just some thoughts, I guess, on things that I went through after I was first diagnosed. And now also retrospectively, I guess I can just say, like, this is going to be very personal, very individual to every person who goes through cancer, but it is so possible. And if you take care of all the stuff in here, then it won't be half as bad to watch your body change and all the things change that you don't have in your control. That's my opinion, at least. Anyway, so that was my talk. Are you still filming?
I try to say goodbye and I choke. I try to walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear my world crumbles when you are